Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you 25 books that I want to read in 2025. So I've seen a lot of people doing this video and thought it was a lot of fun, so I thought I would also do a version of this as well. So the way I have picked my 25 books is I have picked books that I already physically own and want to read this year. Some of them, or quite a lot of them actually, are series continuations. I'm terrible at continuing on with a series. I start a book, read maybe one or two in the series, really enjoy it, and then forget to read the rest. So I really want to make a conscious effort in 2025 to complete some of the series that I've already started. So a lot of these I've picked like the next book in the series that I need to read. I don't know in terms of plot, I don't know a lot of the plots for most of these books, so I will just be showing you, maybe saying a few words about why I've chosen this book, and I won't be going into too much detail about the plot because I don't know a lot about the plot, but I will leave links down below to all of these books, so if you are interested you can go and read a bit more on Goodreads to see if these books are for you. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into the books that I have. So first book I have is Powerless by Elsie Silver. This is book 3 in the Chestnut Springs series. I've obviously read book 1 and 2 and really loved them, and I really need to continue on with this series. I am up to date with her current series that she's releasing, but I'm very behind with this one and I just really want to read it. These are small town cowboy romances and I really have loved the previous two, so I have high hopes for the rest of the series. This edition is the special edition that was released. I actually have the whole series in this in these editions and I absolutely love them, so I really want to show them some love and get this read this year. Next I have A Seasons for Spice by Golden Angel. This one is a historical romance series that I am working my way through, and this one I think is book 4. So Golden Angel writes quite steamy historical romances, and she also writes contemporary books as well, but I've only read her historicals, and this series I've really enjoyed and I'm hoping to continue on with this one. The covers for these are really pretty, and yeah, I'm excited for that one. Next we have Love Light Farms by B.K. Borison. This is I think it's a small town romance, and it's a series of 4 books, which she released the 4th book last year in 2024. And so the series is now complete, but I've not actually started this series. This series gets a lot of hype. I've heard a lot of really good things about the series and I really want to start it and read it. This one's the first one. Each book in the series is set in a different season, I believe. And I think this one is obviously the winter one because it's set on a Christmas tree farm, I believe. Yes, Christmas tree farm. So I'm excited for that one and I have really high hopes for it. Next we have one that's been on my TBR for a really long time. This is Ruthless Stranger by Maggie Cole. When I first started watching booktube videos, this series was very popular. I think there's now like 10 books or so in the series and I have obviously yet to start it. I think I got this one edition off Vinted because they are quite expensive, but they are available on Kindle Unlimited, and this is a mafia romance series, and I've read quite a few mafia books. I'm halfway through a lot of mafia series, so I do need to continue on, but I really want to start this one as well because I've heard, as I say, really good things about it. Next we have another small town romance series. This is Here With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This one I've not actually heard many people talk about, but I got this off of Vinted as well. This one, I think I got books 1 to 3 in the series and for a really good price, and I just love the covers. These are obviously the alternate editions, but I really love them. As I say, don't know too much about them. I don't think I've actually heard many people talk about this series. I think it's called the Sugarland Creek series, and this is book 1 and I can't wait to read it. I love small town romances, so I have high hopes for this one. Next we have another small town series, and this is Crossroads by Devney Perry. I love Devney Perry's books. I've read quite a few of them, and this is one of her series that she's published with Montlake. This is the Haven River Ranch series. This is book 1, and book 2 is also already out. I don't know if there are plans for any more books in this series, but if there are, I will definitely be picking them up. But I really need to get on and read this. I actually had this one pre-ordered when it came out in, I think this came out in 2023, did it? Or early 2020, no, it did come out in 2024, but it must have been early 2024 because the second book also came out at the end of the year. I had them both pre-ordered and I've still not read it, so I really need to get on and read this series this year. Next I have Matching the Marquess by Darcy Burke. I had to remind myself. This is part of the Lords in Love series, which she co-wrote with Erica Ridley. So I think there's 6 books in the series and each author wrote 3 books. I have read all the other books, absolutely love it, and this is the only one that I've not read. Erica Ridley and Darcy Burke are 2 of my favourite historical romance authors. Darcy Burke has written one of my favourite historical romance series, which is the Phoenix Club series. Super underrated, but would definitely recommend. It's one of my favourite series, and their books are now on Kindle Unlimited, which is really good. This series I don't believe is on Kindle Unlimited, but is still well worth a read. Next I have Lords of Darkness by Elizabeth Hoyt. So this I believe is book 5, I want to say, in the Maiden Lane series. So I started reading the Maiden Lane series either at the beginning of 2024, maybe in 2023, and I binged the first 4 books, like I read them back to back. And then I got a bit burnt out on historical romances and the series in general, so I put it to one side and haven't continued on, but I really want to get back into it. And this one, as I say, is the 5th book, and I have all of the other books as well. I do own all the series, and I just need to get on and read it. But I'm really excited for that one. As I say, I really loved the first 4 books. Then we have The Mistake by Elle Kennedy. I have read quite a few Elle Kennedy books, but I really need to finish her kind of original series, which is the Off-Campus series and the Briar U series. They're probably what she's most well known for. I've read obviously the first book, which is The Deal, but I really want to continue on with the rest of the books in this series and then move on to the Briar U series. So these are the new cover editions that they've done, and I really like these covers. And I'm fortunate enough to have both the Off-Campus series and the Briar U series, the complete set in these collections. I also got these off Vinted as well, and yeah, really excited for those. They are hockey romances, definitely sports romance. I'm pretty sure it's hockey. Can't wait to read that. Next we have Savage Lover by Sophie Lark. So again, this is another Mafia series that I started reading and then have not continued on with. This one is actually book 3, and this is the original male cover edition. These have now been redone. I think they've been republished, traditionally published now with Bloom, but I have the first 3 books in the original covers. This one I got off of Vinted, and again, really need to get on and read this. I think I have do I have the rest of the series? I don't actually have the rest of the series, but they are on Kindle Unlimited, I believe, so I can continue on. But really excited to get into that one. I'm just moving my stack of books. Next I have The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. This one is a fantasy, and I saw it on quite a few people talking about it in 2024. I think it might have also been on the Goodreads Choice Awards lists, although I'm not 100% sure. This one it's going to sound like I have an addiction to Vinted, but this one I also got for Vinted, but it was only £1 for a hardback edition, which is really good. I don't know too much about this one. It's a cozy fantasy. I think there might be a romance in it, but not 100% sure. The cover of this is absolutely stunning, so I really hope I do like this because I'd love to keep it in my collection. Next I have Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. So I read, what was it called? Out on a Limb in 2024, which is her most current or most recent release. and I really loved that one. I gave it 5 stars. This one is one of her other books. I also have the other one that she's written, what's that one called? Next to You, which I also own as well, but this is the one I've chosen to add to this list. I loved Out on a Limb, so I really hope that I like her other books and can't wait to read them. Then we have The Catch by Amy Lee. So I read her previous 2 releases, which was called Set on You and X's and O's, and this one is her 2024 release, which I have still yet to read, and I really need to get on and read this one. I don't know too much about this one at all, but I'm really excited. As I say, I loved her other 2 books, so I have high hopes for this one. Next we have Mile High by Liz Tomfordy. So I have heard so many people talking about this series. Her most recent book, Play Along, was released towards the end of 2024. And this is the first book in the series. And I think it's a billionaire romance series. I'm not 100% sure, could be wrong. But I'm excited for this. I have the first 3 books and I need to pick them up. One of the things that puts me off is the length. This is quite long, and sometimes long books kind of intimidate me, and I think, oh, I don't want to read that, because the time it takes me to read one long book, I could probably read 2 shorter books. And sometimes I feel with the longer books that they don't need to be that long. They could be condensed. But I'm excited to read this. As I say, so many people have said wonderful things about this series, so I need to get on to that. Next I have Next Year in Havana by Chanel Cleeton. So this one has been on my TBR for a really long time. Chanel Cleeton is an author that I really want to try out. She writes historical fiction, and I'll be honest, the reason I haven't picked up her books is they're not the most easy to get hold of here in the UK. You can obviously get them from Amazon, but they're quite expensive because I don't think they've been picked up by a UK publisher, so they are US editions, so they cost a bit more. And that's one of the reasons that I haven't picked her up. She's not available in the library and they cost a bit more. This one was another Vinted find, and I can't wait to dive into this one. The cover is really pretty, and I really enjoy reading historical fiction, and I enjoy reading historical fiction that's not just set during World War II. Although I do enjoy reading about World War I and World War II, I do like reading other areas as well, and this one's set in Cuba, I think. So excited for that, and I've heard really good things about her books as well. Next I have The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. I really enjoy Lucy Score's writing. I've read quite a lot of her books now, and this is one of the few that I own that I haven't actually read yet. She writes a lot of small town romances. She's got some series, she's got some standalones. I believe this is one of her standalones, and yeah, I can't wait to read it. It's one of her shorter ones as well. Some of hers are quite long, but I think she was on my list of most read authors in 2024, so I really want to complete reading her backlist, and this will take me one step closer to that. Next I have Twisted by Emily McIntyre. This is, I think, book 4 in her Never After series, which are dark reimaginings of fairy tales. So we've had Peter Pan, The Lion King, The Wizard of Oz, and then I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, this one's Aladdin, I think. Maybe. But I'm excited for this. I've really loved the other books in the series. They are contemporary romances, but they are, as I say, darker romances, so definitely check triggers for this series. But the covers of these are absolutely stunning, and I have the most recent book, which is Hexed, or the last book, and I really need to read the other one so that I can get to this one, but super excited for that one. Then we have Throttled by Lauren Asher. So this one is an F1 romance. She has a series of these. There is 4 books in the series, which I do own the other ones as well. And I have read all of Lauren Asher's other series apart from this one. This is the only series I've not read from her, and I'm really excited to pick these up. These are actually the indie editions that I have, but these have now also been picked up by a publisher and have been traditionally published. But I think the covers have stayed pretty much the same. There might be some slight differences, but these ones are the indie editions. These were another vintage find. Then I tried not to duplicate authors on here, but there are a couple that I have duplicated. And this one is another Devney Perry book. This is Indigo Ridge, which is part of the Eden series. As I said, love Devney Perry's writing, and this series I really want to pick up. This is again another small town romance series that she's written. I don't know if there's a bit of suspense in this one. Some of her books have some suspense elements. I'm not sure if this one does. I have the first 3 books in the series. This one again is the indie edition, but these have also been picked up by a publisher. So these ones are not on KU anymore because they've been picked up by a publisher, or at least they're not in the UK. They might be elsewhere, but in the UK I don't think these ones are available on KU anymore. So I really need to get on and read this series. We're on to the last little stack now. So we'll whiz through these ones. So I have Salt Kiss by Sierra Simone. This is a start of a new series for her. I can't remember what the series is called actually. I don't think it actually tells me anywhere. But there was a short novella that she released which is the start of this series. Can't remember what that one was called either, but I've read the short prequel novella, and this is the first proper book, and then there is the second book that's been released. The third one I think comes out this year. I really need to get onto this because I enjoyed the prequel and I need to read it while I still have a vague memory of what it was about, but this cover is absolutely beautiful, so definitely want to get to that this year. Then this is another author that I've got duplicated. This is Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. So this is the first book in the, I don't know what this series is called actually. Does it tell me anywhere? Gold Rush Ranch series. And these have recently been republished as well. And these are the new covers, or the new UK editions anyway. These are absolutely beautiful. I love the covers. I've picked up the whole series and I just need to get on and read these. Really excited for this. I think this again is another small town romance. So I'm excited for that. Then I have 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. So this is a sequel to 1,000 Boy Kisses, which was a book that I read a couple of years ago and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. This one I'm more hesitant than any of the other books on this list. This is the one I'm probably the most hesitant about because I don't really feel that we needed a sequel. I don't know who this follows or what this is about. I really know nothing about it, but I don't think that another book was necessary. So we'll see what this one is like. This one's the Pink Sprayed Edge edition, which I absolutely love. The cover is beautiful, so I really hope that the story is just as good. We'll see. Then this one has been on my TBR for such a long time, and it is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. So I have read the 3rd book in this series, which is I can't remember what it's called, but it's Eve's story, Eve Brown. I haven't read the 1st book or the 2nd book in this series, and I have owned these for a really long time. Again, it was another Vinted find. I got the whole set from Vinted, and I need to get on and read them. I've heard really nothing but good things about this series, and yeah, need to read it. When did these come out? 2019. These have probably been on my TBR for nearly that long, so must read this year. Next we have Unfortunately Yours by Tessa Bailey. Tessa Bailey is a bit of an author that is a bit hit and miss for me. Some of her books I really enjoy, some not so much. I'm very behind with her releases, really behind. This one is the 2nd book in one of her series. The 1st book I think was called Secretly Yours, which I did enjoy. And I just need to pick this one up. I don't know too much about what this is about, but again, it's kind of, I think it was a bit small townish. Oh, it says Marriage of Convenience on the back, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll enjoy this. As I say, she is a bit hit or miss for me. I think her books can be a little bit overhyped, but I've not heard too many people talk about this particular one, so hopefully we'll enjoy it. And last one on my list is again another very popular one, and that is Credence by Penelope Douglas. So Penelope Douglas is a very popular author. I have read one of her books, have I? I think I've read one of her books, but I have so many on my TBR because people rave about her books and I'm just very slow at getting through them. This is another quite chunky one. This is again an indie edition and again another Vinted find. count how many times I've said that in this video because I feel like every book on this list near enough has come from Vinted. It's my one addiction. I scroll through there, buy books all the time. So yeah, really excited to read this one and hopefully I will enjoy it. So those are the 25 books that I plan to read this year. Whether I get to all 25, who knows, but we will see. I maybe do a recap at the end of the year, see if I actually read any of these or not. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there are any books on this list that I have shared that you think I need to prioritise reading first, please let me know. As I say, a lot of these books are very popular books. I'm sure you will have heard of all of them, but please let me know if there are any that you think I must read first. And that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one. Bye!